What's up, everybody? Just sitting here doing some thinking back. It was this day 6 years, or sorry, 5 years ago, the January 6th, quote unquote, riot, where everything I had built for close to 2 years was removed, all taken down. My Facebook was deactivated, YouTube gone, one of the YouTube channels, Twitter gone, Instagram. And it was all because we had, all of us at that time had been kind of walking that wire, where we had to stay really careful, more careful than we have to be today, thank goodness. But back then it was really bad. I mean, the crackdown on free speech was unheard of because of COVID. How dare you say that your family should take vitamin C? Oh, God forbid you were the scourge of the earth for saying something so horrible as you should build up your health. Well, it was that day that I was watching so many videos come in. People were posting them left and right of people being invited into the Capitol, politely invited. Police officers, arms around somebody and saying, hey, this is, so and so, and yep, come on in. Y'all are free to come in. You can come look around. We'll go from there later. People, the police were moving the barricades, and then later it being made to sound like people busted through the barricades. Well, I had a lot of videos about that, and it was that day that my accounts, all of my accounts, along with, later I found out that Trump's Twitter account was taken down within the same 60-second time frame that all of my stuff was attacked, which meant they had been watching us. Me and Brad, it didn't make any sense. We didn't understand why me, but I later realized it was because my name was on everything in the background, right? So they had been watching our videos, our accounts, and that same day is the day that I lost an entire Google Drive full of proofs against COVID, proofs against January 6th. That day, though, buddy, it was fast. All of the videos I started quickly posting of the January 6th setup that was going on, man, they got that stuff down fast. And of course, later, we found that you can identify 50 plus FBI agents in amongst the crowd, BLM supporters dressed up like Trump supporters. It was just the biggest setup I had ever seen. And I mean, thank God I didn't go up there. I had planned to. That was the goal. And we had some other family things going on. I mean, me and Brad had flown down to Macon, Georgia for the Trump rally there. Oh man, the amount of hate I got from that because we weren't masked up. It was an insane time, like nothing we've seen since, thankfully. But my Facebook was taken down. I had to end up using my wife's Facebook. I got put on the FBI no-fly list, found that out because I went to buy an AR-15 and was declined. I had to work with 3 different attorneys out of Nashville, and I started really fearing how this was going to affect my wife and kids. And so that's when I went silent for several months. Didn't even touch social media, which is funny for all the people that say, oh, you're just out there for you. Like, no, when you're out there just for you and your face and wanting notoriety, you don't just shut it down and go silent for 3 or 4 months. That's a death sentence to a business like I had built. But anyway, what a day that it was, man. The tens of thousands of photos and videos that I lost when my Google account just poof, just all of a sudden missing. You log in and you see no content here. But yeah, this day 5 years ago was when all of that happened, and when I had to really take a step back and decide what there's plenty of people doing what I was doing, plenty of them. And at what length was I willing to go to make my family suffer? I mean, they were out in front of our house. And I later found out that was very common. They were throughout every city in the United States. And they basically had a target list, and they would come and pull up to your house. It was this beautiful white, big SUV. The windows completely black, like you would never see on the street normally. And I'm sitting in there recording a video, working on some stuff in the living room, and I see that car sitting out there. And we're on a little bitty alley that every car that comes down. There's only like 5 houses in our little bitty alley. And I see that white car. And I'm like, what in the world? What is that? It's sitting right in front of our house. I go out the front door and go out to the car. And the second I come out the door, it goes speeding off. And I see the tag on the back, and it's a government tag. That's the kind of stuff that, I mean, it'll make you question, am I doing what I need to be doing for my family? My family has to come first. And I don't know. It's a lot of questions that I still, to this day, question myself about. But it's wild to think about what happened this day 5 years ago, and the amount of people that ended up in prison. I mean, grandmothers, grandfathers that were sitting there peacefully praying and singing songs together. They hunted those people down using facial recognition and went and raided their homes, had the FBI raid their homes. That's what happened out of that day, out of a day that was a complete setup for everybody involved. And many of those people have sat in prison for years and not even given due process. It was mind blowing. And I felt so fortunate that I didn't put my family through that. But then the people that did, they weren't putting their family through that. They were there to protest a stolen election that was provably stolen, and not there to bash windows. And, that was other people dressed up just like Trump supporters, the hats, the shirts, the flags, and then going in there and smashing windows, and all later proven. But anyway, just thinking back, what a crazy day that was. And I don't regret the decisions I had to make after that, because my family will always come first. But at the same time, there's a balance that you have to draw between fighting for what's right and also protecting your family at the same time. And that's what I did. But anyway, what a day to remember.